Hello friends, welcome to the current affairs analysis for 3rd of March 2020. So the coronavirus disease known as the COVID-19, its screening has been stepped up in India because a third suspected case in India has been found in the state of Rajasthan. So after the cases in Delhi and Hyderabad, now a case has been found in Rajasthan as well. So he was an Italian tourist who tested positive for this virus, and Italy is one of the hardest hit nations with more than 1700 cases and more than 35 deaths. The patient in Hyderabad also had returned last week from Dubai. So those who are international travelers, they are bringing this virus, they are spreading this virus throughout the world, which actually started in the Hubei province of China in the city of Wuhan. So it is a zoonotic infection which spreads from animals to human beings, and the World Health Organization has already declared it as a public health emergency of international concern. And recently, the World Health Organization has also upscaled its threat level to very high. That shows the pandemic nature of this particular flu. Another connected news is that the supplies have been hit in the pharmaceutical hub in Himachal and it faces production crisis. So there is a belt in Himachal Pradesh known as the Baddi Barotiwala Nalagad industrial belt. So this is a pharmaceutical belt where a lot of pharmaceutical factories and industry is set up. So there is active pharmaceutical ingredient known as API, which are used in various pharmaceutical factories. So around 70 to 80% of active pharmaceutical ingredients in India are imported, and the hub of that export is the Hubei province of China, which is the epicenter of coronavirus right now. So that is why the pharmaceutical industry in India is reeling under that pressure. Also, in this context, let us see what is the National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority. So, this is an authority under the Government of India which controls the prices of various drugs, and it maintains a list known as the National List of Essential Medicines. In this particular list, those tablets, capsules, and those medical equipments are listed whose prices are to be controlled by the Government of India. Similarly, the National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority issues a drug price control order under which the prices of any drugs can be controlled. Let us see a question based on this. So, which ministry is the administering authority for the National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority? Now, this kind of questions can be very confusing. So, let us see. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers, and Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. So as you can see, all the four options are very close. Because it is pharmaceutical pricing, so it is very close to health and family welfare. Because it includes some chemicals, it can likely be chemical and fertilizer or petroleum also. And since it is a matter of social justice, because the prices of medical tablets are being controlled, so it can well be social justice and empowerment as well. So such kind of questions, you have to keep a keen eye on them, and the answer is the Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers. So it's a factual question and you should pay heed to facts as well. The Punjab and Haryana High Court has imposed a fine of rupees 200 crore on the states of Punjab and Haryana for allowing illegal structures to come up in the eco-sensitive zone of the Sukhna Lake reservoir. So 100 crore each on Punjab and Haryana has been imposed for allowing construction in catchment area of Sukhna Lake, which falls in their respective jurisdictions. So that money will then be used for restoration of the eco-sensitive zone of the particular lake. Now in this context, let us discuss two things. First, since Sukhna Lake is a wetland, let us see what is a wetland, and second, we'll see the provisions of a legal person. So wetland is any area or patch of land which is saturated with water. So wetland is any area that is saturated with water either partially or throughout the year. It may include swamps, marshes, lakes, rivers, oases, peatlands, estuaries, deltas, or any such area which is saturated with water. And these are highly biologically productive because of subterranean photosynthesis. So since the water is shallow, sunlight penetrates through the water, and on the surface of that particular water, there is a lot of vegetation because of subterranean photosynthesis. The plants make their food below the surface of water, because of which the biological productivity is extremely high of wetlands. And so they are extremely important from ecological as well as economic point of view. Recently, the World Wetlands Day was celebrated on the 2nd of February last month, and on this particular day, Ramsar Convention on Protection of Wetlands was signed in the year 1971. And Ramsar is a city in Iran, and in this particular city in 1971, this convention was signed. And India is also a party to this convention. And under this convention, 37 sites in India have been declared as Ramsar sites of international importance, covering around 1.07 million hectares of land in India. And it also maintains another list known as the Montreux Record. So Montreux Record is actually a dubious distinction. Those Ramsar sites which are facing any kind of threat are placed under the Montreux Record. Right now, two Ramsar sites of India, that is the Keoladeo National Park in Rajasthan and the Loktak Lake in Manipur, are in the Montreux Record. Whereas Chilika Lake of Odisha was earlier placed on the Montreux Record but was later withdrawn. So that is a huge achievement, because Chilika Lake earlier was facing threats from urbanization and pollution, and later on the government took steps to preserve it and to conserve it, and those steps yielded good results, and it was taken off the Montreux Record. So you have to keep in mind that what is a wetland, when World Wetlands Day was celebrated, and why it was celebrated on that particular day, how many sites are there in India, and what is Montreux Record, and which sites of India are on Montreux Record. Similarly, if we see what is a legal person, first of all, let us see a question. Which of the following is not a characteristic of a legal person? So a legal person basically is any entity or any establishment that has the characteristics of a natural person, like a human being. So what a natural person can do: can enter into a contract, can sue and be sued in a court. He can file a case, and he can also bear the proceedings of a case. He can own or dispose of property. This is also correct. He can engage in unlawful activities. So this is not correct. He cannot engage in unlawful activities. So which of the following is not a characteristic of a legal person? Basically, all the characteristics of a natural person can also be attributed to a legal person. So D is the answer. A legal person cannot be engaged in unlawful activities. So there are two types of persons. One is a natural person, like human beings, and second is the legal person. So anything can be declared a legal person. It can be a trust, it can be an idol of a god, it can be a holy book, or it can be a natural body as well. For example, the river Ganga and river Yamuna have been declared as legal persons. Similarly, now Sukhna Lake has been declared as a legal person. In holy books, Shri Guru Granth Sahib has been declared as a legal person by the Honorable Court. In idols, various idols placed in the temples are declared legal persons. So these have the features of a natural person, and they can own and dispose of property, and they can also enter into contracts. So a legal person is any person or thing or legal entity that can do things an everyday person can usually do in law, such as enter into contracts, sue and be sued, own property, and so on. So the Foreign Secretary of India, Mr. Harshvardhan Shringla, has assured his Bangladeshi counterpart that the Assam National Register of Citizens will have no implication for Bangladesh as such, because in the 1971 Indo-Pakistan War, a lot of refugee influx was witnessed in the state of Assam from Bangladesh. And in the aftermath, the Assam movement was started by the All Assam Students Union in the 1970s. And as a result, in the year 1985, Assam Accord was signed between the government of India and the leaders of Assam movement. And they demanded that those who are illegal immigrants in the state of Assam shall be expelled from the state, since this is a demographic invasion. But the government of India did not take any positive steps on it for the next 30 years, after which a plea was filed in the Supreme Court for conducting a National Register of Citizens in the state of Assam. So in 2015, the Supreme Court passed an order that a National Register of Citizens be created for Assam to delineate the citizens from non-citizens. Basically, this demand has been in place because the people of Northeast have huge and very strong ethnic and religious identities, and they do not want any outsiders to come and occupy their resources, which are already in scarcity. So in 2016, 17, and 18, Assam NRC was carried out, and out of 3.29 crore population of Assam, around 19 lakh people were found to be non-citizens, and they have also been granted another chance to file their claims in the foreigners tribunals in Assam, which have been set up for this special purpose. So speaking on this particular seminar called Bangladesh and India, a promising future, Mr. Harshvardhan Shringla has assured the foreign minister of Bangladesh, Mr. A.K. Abdul Momen, that since these 19 lakh people now are not citizens of India, but it will not have any implications for Bangladesh as well. Because Bangladesh earlier had expressed apprehension that since these 19 lakh people have been declared non citizens, will they be sent back to Bangladesh or not? But now the government has cleared their apprehension. So, in which year was the Assam Accord signed between the government of India and the leaders of the Assam movement? So, the year is 1985. So, at that time, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister of India, and the leaders of Assam movement were led by the All Assam Students Union. Thank you, everyone. This has been the news analysis for 3rd of March 2020.